So hi everyone, welcome to the class, back again with my new video or on new session. So here I'm going to explain. If you have been through my earlier session, in my earlier session I had given the ground of what are difference, what are different key differentiator. Other than that, like I had given how to play with the numbers in Python. I had given the introduction of the Python and how to play with the numbers, how to play with the operators, how to play, and what are difference, data types, and how does it work, right? So along with the data types, like if you have simple how to install Python, and for installing Python, what is the use of Jupyter, and if you use Jupyter, then how does it work, how to execute the code in Jupyter. So those all the things I had explained, and also I had explained about uh, I had explained about uh, the variable assignment, dynamic and static variable assignment, and a list, different type of data set elements, and different type of data set element, and after that uh, a collection of elements. If you have to append, or you have to delete, or you have to address a particular element in the collection, then how would you address that? Those are all the things I had explained in my previous session. So in continuation of that, I will be giving the ground of another data set type. Let me open. It's loading. Hope you are able to see my screen. So it's loading here. So as meanwhile, so in the list, in the collection of list, I had given the indexing in Python starts with 0. If you have to access any particular element in your list, then for accessing that list item, you have to start your indexing from 0, right? Those all things I had if you have to append the item, or you have to append the element in your collection, then those all things I had explained. Like here the data types, all these numbers to play around, variable assignment, and string manipulation, accessing the string, accessing, I don't know, if you have to print or manipulate the strings, string manipulation, all those things, collection, and indexing, and printing the element on different ways. If the starting or ending position is not given, if the starting position is given but ending position is not given, if both are given, if the ending position is given but the starting position is not given, like, or in between starting position is given. So there are multiple combinations I had given, right? So in the list as well, like I have the given ground. So how different types of lists are there, how to access the element, how to play around with the list items, and to make sure that the list is always, how would you identify the data type which has been defined? If it is a list, it will be always closed by with a square braces. So that's the identification of the list element, and nested listing, like list inside list, that I'll also explain. So here we are going to discuss about the new type of data set that is called dictionary, right? So dictionary is also in one kind of data set here. Here only the difference here is, like, here the data with which will be there in your collection, that will be always stored in key value pair. Key value pair is what? Like the element which is always paired with one key, right? Like key. And so here, like, for example, here we have key 1, key 2, or key 2 is labeled with 3. So here always each element is paired with one key, right? So this value is paired with key 1, this value is paired with key 2, this value is paired with key 2, key. So that is how always the data will get paired with one of the key. So that's the main difference here, only in the dictionary. Okay, and the major differentiates differences and all that, once you experience, and then on the complex use cases and all that, you might be having you might be experiencing down the line. So if you're not aware with the hash table, if you have worked in Java, then you must be knowing about hash table. If you're not aware, then no worries on that. Okay, so here we have, so let me try printing that. here, let me execute shift enter. So the value which has been assigned here, which is in item D. So if I try printing the item D, the what value it is going to print? It has printed all the values. Key 1, key 2. In the key 1, it has printed 1, and the key 2, it has printed item 3, right? So it hasn't taken. It behaves, sometimes it in the key 2, it hasn't printed taken this value, right? Because it ideally what happens in the dictionary element, under the same key you cannot have multiple elements. That's the primary basic concept. But here, just for test and trial, I have added here. But just to make sure, like you don't take under the same key, don't define the multiple elements. So here, if I try printing the item key 1, so what value is going to print here? It has printed here 1, means the value 1 which is paired with key 1. So if I try printing the key 1, then it is printing 1, right? So in the same way, if I go down, if I try printing here item D, so what value is going to print here? If I print here, it has printed the entire set data set and all the values which has been aligned in the item D or assigned in the item D, everything has printed here. So if I try printing the key 1, so the key 1 is paired with what? So key 1 value is paired with, so the each element will get printed here. Just to make sure the 1, 2, 3 which has been printed here, it will be always printed with a notation. It's not like that it will be simply printed like 1, 2, 3. It will be always printed with a notation, so just make sure. Got it? So this is, if I try printing here, item D key 1 0, if I try printing here, so what will in the key 1 and the 0th element? If I try printing here in the key 1, what is that? 1, 2, 3. And at the 0th element, what is the value here? 1. So it has printed the 0th element. 0th element at the 0th place, what is the value here? 1. Key 1 and the pair, the value which is paired with key 1 and the value which is supposed to be printed here, 1, 2, 3, in that the 0th element need to be printed. So 0th element is 1. So it has printed here 1, right? So here in the same way, here if I try executing here in the D, all the value which has been assigned, if I try printing the key 1, D and key 1, in the key what the value here, the entire set, data set with the key 2, it will get printed. Got it? So then after the K1, the value which is aligned here, K2, this is the entire data set. This is the entire data set is being assigned here. So entire data set has been printed. To DK1, the value which has been printed here. Got it, right? Yes. So this is how it works. So if I try printing the DK2, then the another set of value, the entire set of value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it will be printed here. Got it? So that is how it works. It always works in the key pair values. So if I click on print DK1, K2, in the DK1, in the DK1, then K2. So what value is supposed to print? DK1, for the K1, the value is this one. And for K2, the value should be this one. So this value is supposed to be printed, right? So if I select here, it has printed this set of value. Hope you got it. Any doubt? In case of you have any doubt, you can just write down your questions in the comment section. I will be happy to answering that. So again, let me explain. How does it work? D is paired DK1. So K1 is paired with K2. This is the entire data set is paired with K1. So this is the value here for K1. So in the K1, we have to put the value of K2. So in the K2, what K2 is paired with 11. This is all this numeric data set will be printed here. That is how it is printed, right? So if again we go for print D1, DK1, K2, and then the second element, then second element will be printed here. So it's very easy, right? If you practice that, you will just on the tip of your tongue, you would be able to answer that. Hope you got it. So this is how the dictionary works in the Python. So here, and there is nothing or any rocket science to implement the dictionary or list. Mostly most of the cases we use only list, right? So there is not much difference in the list or dictionary. Only the difference is like it works with a key pair. Now we go with the tuples. In the tuples, how does it work? It always works like, if I assign the value here, so in the T, all the values which has been, now the third element is supposed to be printed, and it has printed. Got it, right? So how does it work? In the same way it works. There is not much difference. Only how would you identify that I'll let you know down the line, like, 1, 2, 3, hello, and the third element supposed to be printed, so it has printed hello. Got it, right? So if I want to add or I want to replace the value which is at the 0th location or 0th position, T0 is supposed to be replaced with a new. At the 0th place, what is the value here? 1. So it will be replaced. So I will just hit enter. Reassignment. Oh, sorry. Actually, in the tuple, there are limitations. In the tuples, what the limitations are, like you cannot reassign the value, the position where it has already been placed. I mean, so if I want to replace T0 at the 0th location, if I want to add the value, it will not allow. So in that, say, meaning at the 0th location, we have the value 1 and we are trying to add the value at the 0 or trying to replace the value with the new, so it will not allow. Got it, right? So the reassignment is not allowed in tuples. Again, we go with set. The set is also like, how would you identify, like, most of the redundancy, I mean, repeated elements are here. So if we try to print the element here in set, this is another type of, collection of elements. This also sets in that. How does it work? It will put the unique values. Like, doesn't matter one value how many times it has been repeated in the set, but it will print the unique values in the set, right? So if we have a set, these are not only the numeric or the string values also can be here, can be added in the set. So s is equal to set, this is the collection, and in that if I try printing s, then it will print the unique values. Let me try showing that. I executed, so each element it has printed here and each element is printed uniquely here. In the s, here also I have added one value that is called hello. So again, it will be printing that value here. So if I have to as 3 element, so again it will why it is given the error? Because it doesn't know like, on the third number, because there is no any in third places the number what you are trying to print, that is already a unique value, right? So you cannot simply like list, you cannot address the element like this. So it will just, the objective here is just it prints, or you can just take the unique values from the collection, right? So that is how, if you want to add the value here, then you can add. So and the entire set has been assigned into S, and if you want to add any value in the set, then you can add by this way, s dot add and 70. So if you try printing that, then it will be 70. Earlier the 70 was not there, so now the 70 has been added, and it has been printed, and it has added in the collection, right? So that is how the set works. So there is one difference. How would you identify what is the list? How would you identify what is the list, or what is what is the list, or what is the dictionary, or the tuples or sets? So there is always in the list, it will be always closed with the curly braces, and dictionary, it will be always closed with the curly braces, and your tuples, it will be always closed with parenthesis, and the sets, it will be always mentioned. The sets will be always mentioned in your code. Whenever you specify the set elements, it will be always mentioned along with your set values, right? So that is how you identify. So there is not any rocket science to understand like, which kind of variable or data set has been defined. You can just simply by looking at the data set, you can gonna understand like, if it is list, dictionary, tuple, or sets, what is that? Okay, so let's move on to comparison operators. I'm sure you must have, if you have worked in programming language, any of the programming language, or on Excel as well, you must have experienced these things like comparison operators. So in the same way, the concept is same, and everything in the comparison operators also works in the same way here. So like then we have 1 is greater than 2. 1 is greater than 2. Is it a true or false statement? 1 is not greater than 2, right? So we're supposed to get false here, right? So A equal to 1, B equal to 2, print A is less than B, it's true, right? So we're supposed to get true here. So again, we got true. A equal to B, no, it's not. So 1 is less than 2, it's true. So that is how it works here. So each true or false, that is how the comparison operators works here. Like if you 1 equal to 1, it's true, right? So that is how it works here. So the comparison operators like either true or false, and that way you can just evaluate the condition. So now the logical operator comes into picture. When you go for the logical operators, and that either of the condition, if you put and 1 is greater than 2 and 2 is less than 3, both the conditions must be satisfied, then only your condition will go for true. If either of the condition is false, then it is not going to give the true statement. So you just make sure it must give the true or false. For true or false, it depends like what logical operator you have added. If it is and, then must, like all the condition must be satisfied. And if it is or, then either any of the given condition must be if satisfied, then it will give true. If any of the condition will not be satisfied in in and or in and, then it will give false. Or and the same for or also it works. So that is how. Let me show you. 1 is greater than 2 and 2 is less than 3. So it's false, right? 1 is greater than 2. So what we can expect here? It false. 1 is greater than 2. Again, it's or 2 is less than 3. Either of the condition is, so it should be true. So that is how the logical operator works here. 1 equal to 2 or 2 equal to 3 or 4 equal to 4. So what we may get here? Any of the condition, if it is true, then it is going to give the true, because the or condition, all logical operator is given. So if I hit enter, then because 4 equal to 4, the last condition is true, right? So in the same way, here we have 1 is greater than 2 or 2 equal to 3 or 3 equal to 3. So the last condition is true. So because the last condition is true, so because of that, it will give the true. Oh, or sorry, I thought here or. So either of the condition is in between. If either of the condition is true, and these both conditions should be true, so then only it will be true. So 1 is greater than 1, 1 is greater than 2, it false, and 2 equal to 3, it is also false. So both the conditions here it got false, and 3 equal to 3, this is true, so false or true, here it turns to false, right? So I hope you got the understanding about the logical operators and how does Boolean operator works and how the comparison operator works, how the comparison takes place. So how the list or list tuples and other different operators works on the different collection items of the data types. So let's connect in my next class. And in next class, we'll be going for other operators and other, loops and, range and loops, range and other concepts, and then how do we implement the list in real time or a real time or in the complex cases, those all things. Then we'll go for then we'll discuss the functions and then other libraries, numpy, scipy and all that. Okay. So hope you liked it. If you liked my video, please like and subscribe, and put your feedback on my comment box. Thank you.